right? So this is the time.
Hello everyone. ग्रेटर नोएडा वेस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर एसोसिएशन से मैं अजय कुमार और हमारे साथ विवेक रमन जी, आशीष कुशवाहा जी और सचिन जी यहाँ पे हैं। थोड़ी टेक्निकल ग्लिचेस थी जिसकी वजह से काफी टाइम लग गया, सॉरी फॉर दैट। नीचे फोन वाइब्रेशन का काफी साउंड आ रहा है।
कर दीजिए सबको,
आप सबको अनम्यूट कर दीजिए।
एक ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूं। मैं अजय कुमार ग्रेटर नोएडा वेस्ट से, और यहाँ पे ग्रेटर नोएडा वेस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर एसोसिएशन की तरफ से एज वाइस प्रेसिडेंट। विवेक रमन जी ग्रेटर नोएडा वेस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, और हमारे आशीष कुशवाहा जी सेक्रेटरी ऑफ ग्रेटर नोएडा वेस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर एसोसिएशन से। पर्सनली मैं एक आईटी कंपनी मैनेज करता हूँ, कास्का ई प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, especially dealing into B2B business and developing POS softwares and support system for that. Recently, from last 1 year, I have started working on a technology which is well known to everyone, that is drone technology. किसी के लिए ये नाम अननोन नहीं है, ड्रोन सभी लोग जानते हैं कि कितनी यूज हो रही है आजकल इसकी, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जहां पे हम अभी भी लैक कर रहे हैं, या काफी पॉसिबिलिटीज है, काफी अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी है, पॉसिबिलिटीज भी है जो एक्सप्लोर करने की जरूरत है, जहां पे हम एम्प्लॉयमेंट देख सकते हैं, जहां पे हम प्रॉफिट देख सकते हैं कि हम क्या क्या और कर सकते हैं। इसी चीज को लेके हमने एक थॉट प्रोसेस को लेकर आ गया है कि हम एक वेबिनार करते हैं इस पे कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं इस पे, और कितनी बेनिफिट लोगों को पहुंचा सकते हैं, कहाँ किनके लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं, या और इसमें क्या क्या संभावनाएं हैं वो तलाशने के लिए। एक ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन और क्विक इंट्रोडक्शन चाहूंगा आप सबसे, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम सचिन जी।
Hello everyone, this is Sachin. I am a co-founder of MyNukkad IT Solutions. So many of you must have heard about MyNukkad Society app. So I am the co-founder of that, and I am a part of Greater Noida West Entrepreneur Association. So nice to have this session and waiting to learn about this new upcoming technology. Thank you.
विवेक जी।
मेरा नाम विवेक रमन है। I run a company called regrop.com, where we are into real estate domain, online real estate domain. So we are the second largest company in our domain in India with around 40 plus offices. And I'm a resident of Greater Noida West, Gaur City. Our corporate office is in Noida. That's all. And I'm an author also. I just completed my book, From 9 to 5 Job to be an Entrepreneur. That's it.
बाकी सारे लोग लगभग विवेक जी के उस पे हैं, तो मेरे पास सिर्फ विवेक का ही नाम दिख रहा है, तो आप खुद से ही इंट्रोड्यूस करते चले जाइए वन बाय वन।
आप टी शर्ट या कलर के शर्ट से डिनोट करके बोल सकते हैं।
आशीष कुशवाहा जी।
मैं बोलता हूँ। हेलो फ्रेंड्स, my name is Ashish. I'm a founder of G Systems. G Systems is an IT-based company where we do work in a cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and a big data. However, I'm a corporate trainer as well, and we do provide trainings to corporate as well as college board. Thank you. And I'm a part of Greater Noida West Entrepreneurs Association. Thank you.
Hi, myself is Amit Sharma.
Hi, Amit.
Hi. I'm working with Aadhaar Info Solutions Private Limited. It's a, like I'm working as a director there, and we are into access control and fire alarm systems, like all complete electronic security. And we are working for like government organizations as well as corporates. I am residing here in Greater Noida West and in Port City, 6th Avenue. Thank you.
हमारे पास एक और हैं अजय कुमार पाठक जी।
हाँ जी,
मैं आपकी आवाज सुन रहा था, लेकिन मैं थोड़ा सा बिजी था लोगों को लिंक सेट करने में। परहैप्स आप पीसीबीज में कुछ काम बता रहे थे, शायद पीसीबी वर्क से रिलेटेड कुछ।
हमारी कंपनी का नाम है रामटेक सॉल्यूशन प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, नोएडा 63 में है, और वी बेसिकली वी आर इनटू आरएफ एंड कम्युनिकेशन स्टफ। So we are taking care of all communication related material. We are into manufacturing also. We have our some of the mechanical setup in 63 Noida, sector 63 Noida, apart from the RF and communication stuff. So our major customers are all defense related customers, and some of the private companies also who are working in the telecom related field. This is our brief.
Thank you so much.
Hi, very good afternoon, friends. I'm Suman Murthy from Bangalore. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys for setting this up. Basically, I run two organizations. So I'm the CEO of Jobs, which is into talent management and employee engagement. So I come from a decade of experience, 10 years of experience as a recruiter. I worked for three companies, and then I started my venture in 2018. We've been successfully serving about 35 companies in India. Our top three clients are Tata International, Accor Group, and Amazon. Besides talent management, I'm also very passionate about helping business to go online and go global. So our team is come up with a platform called Amplify Business, which teaches basically businesses to go online and also to showcase their businesses and network. So that's what we do. And Amplify Business is online for the last 15 days. So we have a website called amplifybiz.com. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, friend. Who's left with us?
Myself, Amanpreet Singh. I live in Greater Noida West. I am working as a business development manager with the company in Delhi, and my industry is apparel industry.
If you are able to listen me, you can enable your video and audio yourself. By default, it would be disabled. So you need to enable your video and audio yourself. So I hope that most of us might be having idea about the technology that is most prominent technology, and one of the most prominent technology, and which is being used widely worldwide, which is drone technology. I'm sure you all are aware about it.
Yes.
So when we talk about or when we say drone, generally comes into a picture comes into our mind. Small device having 4 propellers and flying into the sky, which is actually the concept of quadcopter. Quad, which stands for 4, and copter you already know, which is a kind of flying object, which is also known as unmanned air vehicle. So today's topic is actually discussing about the drone technology and its future in India. So I would like to have a random idea from any one of you. If you have a bit idea about the drones, and if you have any thinking that what is the scope, or is there any scope or not in India?
Ajay, I was just quickly thinking about it. So we have a lot of application for drone, starting from delivery to defense system. So broadly talking, it would help to avoid the congestion in cities, the major cities. There was a survey out in the newspaper saying that the top 3 congested cities in the world are mainly three cities in India, right? So considering the traffic, it will ease out the delivery, and I see there's a lot of scope and future for the drone technology in India.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So Ajay, these unmanned vehicles are going to play a vital role in upcoming industry. It is going to be penetrate in all the industries as well. It will bring up some new industry and job opportunities as a drone technology in upcoming days. Drone is an unmanned vehicle and it is very good for the remote monitoring, delivering of goods, delivering of the relative items. It will be very helpful in a disaster management where people are unable to reach and our drone can go and reach it out. With respect to our monitoring of complex systems like bridge monitoring, remote area monitoring, hill monitoring, and all. Even it is also good that we can these drone can become a drone catcher. That means it will also help you to stop the spying activities with respect to our drone in our borders. So there is a vast area where drone technology can be growing, and many futures are many careers are going to come up. Drone industry requires our drone trainers, drone controllers, as well as flights operators. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I will just take you to a quick guide.
अजय कुछ लोग और ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, जरा एडमिट कर दीजिए उनको प्लीज.
Okay. Is there anyone pending? No. So as of now, the unmanned air vehicle is being used in these sectors, highly in Indian military for search and rescue operation in disaster relief, which is already being used in inspection and power lines and pipelines, forest and wildlife monitoring, homeland security and applications, crowd monitoring and aerial video making, which is in India, what I believe is it is widely used in making aerial videos. Other than this, it is widely used in Indian military services. But when we talk about the commercial use of drone, I don't think that it is being used in any sector other than aerial video making. However, there are lots of scope of drones in other commercial sections as well. Recently, I was having a word with one of my friend who is working in BHEL, and he told me that lots of drone is being used for lots of inspection of the plants if there is any kind of mistake, because it's also having a life threat for the people who are working in such industries. So despite sending any person to inspect the things, it is better to use drones. Recently we also heard our president Mr. Modi that for land surveying drone can be used. But the question is that do we have sufficient drone in Indian market to put it on commercial use? Mr. Assis, would you like to tell me that are we able to cope up with the need of the commercial drones in India right now?
So if I talk about current needs, right? So as of now, there are very limited companies are available in India who are working as part of drone industry. Few companies are in a manufacturing, and most of them are in a service industry. And we are highly dependent on the from that importing of the drone components. That's the biggest challenge for us. It will be great if we can be able to do a manufacturing of the drones in our over here. That will make us our solution cheap if we talk about the drones, because as of now importing of the qualities, right, or drone item, it is makes the very costly, and that is the reason most of the startups are not able to do that, because startups are lacking with the funds. The one
So
thing is that definitely go.
let me take you to are you guys able to see the screen right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So in India, if you are able to see the screen, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, perhaps 10. These are the only drone models which are approved by DGCA in India so far. If anyone is using any other drone than this, that is not legal. Those are not approved by DGCA. You can see the weight of these drones. You can see the maximum height and altitude of these drones that they can reach. So these are the only drones in India which are approved by the Director General of Civil Aviation in India. And these drones have certain limitations. They cannot perform other functions what we are thinking that the drone can do. And this is because the guidelines of DGCA in India is not very clear. If you are approaching with certain ideas, certain documentation that this is my prototype and it can perform certain function, DGCA may approve your idea, may approve your prototype depending upon your approach in the ministry and at certain level. But if you fail, DGCA is not going to assist you. This is the drawback of our government, the system in our country, that despite of having the possibility of making 20 billion US dollar business by the end of the 2020, India is not going to explore this much of market using drones. Out of these drones, there are certain drones which are only used in military operations. Those cannot be used for civil purposes. When we talk about the current situation of COVID-19, you might have seen in news that several drones are being used for sanitization. Several drones are being used for keeping an eye whether the people are following lockdown or not. But I'm surprised to see the drones which were being used for the surveillance purposes. Those drones were either by DJI or either by Parrot, the one or two of the most world-renowned drone producing companies. But to your surprise, these drones are not legally authorized in India. If you go to the Digital Sky site of the DGCA, you will see that there is an option of getting approval for import of drones. But you will be surprised that you have to import these drones from the Indian manufacturer. I don't understand that what is the concept of importing a drone from the Indian manufacturer, which is already in India. There should not be the word used import, rather than it should be purchase, the license to purchase drones, not the license to import drones. So as of now, you have there are certain things which is hindrance in the path of development of the technology in India is if you are having any drone which is more than in weight of 250 gram, for each takeoff you will have to get a written permission from DGCA, or you will have to get a written permission from your local authority. Without permission from the local authority or the DGCA, if you are flying a drone which is more than 250 gram in weight, it is an offense. But on the contrary, we see that in during COVID-19 there are several drones which are more than in 10 kg or 15 kg, which are carrying sanitizers. They are flying and without any written permission. This is the dual behavior or the dual nature of our government. That if you are allowing certain companies to use to use the features of the drone to fight COVID-19 or any other situation, any other uh, uh, natural hazards, then there must be certain clear guidelines for the use of the drones. Yeah, sis, do you want to say something?
I wanted to say something, Ajay. So I have a little different thought. Maybe I'm wrong. So according to the disaster management, anything which can help the people to come out for disaster, that can be put in. So this is that, and I think that this, by considering that unauthorized drones have been used as part of COVID-19, this my statement is only valid for the COVID-19. This is my thought.
Well, I do agree that there are certain things that where we need to overcome certain guidelines. But the thing is that when you are using a digital sky, this is not a road. This is digital sky, which is specially designed for aircrafts. There are no certain guidelines in India to fly a drone in open air sky without any permission, because it poses several kind of security threats. It is not only the threats to the passing aircrafts, it is also a threat of transmission, because in drones the signal transmission system that we use can overlap the signal transmission of an aircraft. This is the major threats in the path of the government, that they are not providing certain guidelines. So what we have come across, or what I'm working on in what I have come across or what I'm working on is similar to that. We do have certain management system, air traffic management system, to operate or to manage our aircrafts to fly in the sky successfully, or following certain paths, reaching certain destination or airports. In a similar way, what I'm working on is developing air traffic management system especially for drone. This is my first and ambitious project that I'm working on, so that there should be certain defined path, certain defined frequency, certain defined guidelines to fly a drone. And if any drone is not following that guidelines, that will not be able to take off unless or until it is being permitted by the developer or the manufacturer of that drone, who is developing the firmware or the software of that drone. If you are not following the guidelines, or if you are not following the predefined features of the drone, your permission to take off may be seized. As if you have been using, or anyone is using the drone of DJI, there are certain features. If you are taking these drones to airport area, you will not be able to take it off. By default, it will tell you that this is a non-flying zone. Even if you try to bypass and try to take these drones take off into the air, it will not take off. But the drones which are being produced in India, they are not having such features. So the second point is that apart from I'm not going to talk about the military operations, because I'm not willing to deal into the military operations of the drones. The thing is that being an entrepreneur, we all I think that most of here we are entrepreneurs, and we are not in a capacity to meet the certain things which are especially for military operations. If you fail in any of the parameters while operating in military operations, you can be involved into a legal complicacy. To avoid that, what I've decided that my main focus would be the commercial utilization of drone. So when we talk about the commercial utilization, it may be in the field of irrigation, it may be in the field of surveying, it may be industrial surveying, it may be corporate surveying, it may be crowd management, it may be event management. There are a lot of things where drone can be utilized. Now, the thing or the features that we are talking about, it is not always safe for anyone to fly a drone always with a remote control. If you are having such a feature wherein you can already have a predefined path, you know that where you want to take your drone, what is the route to avoid certain accidents which may occur in course of flying. So these are certain things that several drones companies have already developed. Several drone companies are already developing it. But if I talk about my own concept, and which I'm working on, is auto start of a drone system. As of now, whatever the drone which are in the market, once you are taking this drone to the ground or setting its motor off, they simply land to the ground and it will not take off unless or until you start or push it on to take it on into the sky. But the challenge comes when you are trying to suppose in COVID-19, if the situation get worsen and you need to deliver certain medicines up to say 1 kg or 1.5 kg, which I'm capable to deliver in up to an area of 2.5 kilometers from my location, which is I'm in Trident Embassy in Greater Noida West. So up to 2.5 kilometer area, I am capable of delivering medicines of 1.5 kg of weight. But the problem comes when I'm trying to deliver the product to any member of the society, and even if there is a certain landing pad or some certain landing station, if I say, installed in the balcony, but it may occur that uh, the landing pad is not correctly installed, and while landing on that pad, the engine automatically is going to stop, and if my drone crashes, then there is heavy loss, even maybe 2.5 lakh or 3 lakh, whatever the cost of the drone is. That is the loss of the asset of any company who will be working on that. So, in order to avoid it, if any drone is having a facility or having a feature which sends in a sudden change in altitude and auto start in that situation and stabilizes itself. As of now, there is no drone in the world which is having this feature. But this is possible. It is not that this is not possible. This is possible. If there is any kind of, if a drone senses a sudden change in altitude where it was landing, it can push its motor on and get into the air to stabilize itself and avoid such kind of mishappening. This is what I'm working on. And why I'm working on, because I believe that in near future we would be able to use the drones in commercial delivery of goods and services.
Ajay, can you complete your PPT first so that we can understand the main agenda of what the contents you have? Then we can discuss further about the problems and the things we.
Yes, sir. Just a couple of minutes more.
Yeah.
Now the second case is that if we succeed in developing such a module wherein we can use the drone technology in developing and in delivering goods and services, now comes who will be taking care of the operations. Definitely, there comes the picture of the trained air pilots, trained remote pilots. If we talk about the trained remote pilots, then there comes the picture of certain institutes would be providing the training and certifications to those pilots to certify that these are the certified pilots who are ready for the operations of the drones and delivering of the products. So the agenda of the today's meeting was to introduce the concept of utilization of the drones in commercial sectors, where what are the possibilities where we can be able to generate revenues? What are the possibilities where we can be able to produce employment opportunities? So I would like to make it over to everyone now.
You have one PPT. What you had started means first page was just you showed first page only and not the rest of the PPT pages. Can we see, or can you explain the other pages also, like in the PPT what you were showing? Yeah.
This shows the growth and the proposed revenue generation or proposed business using drones by the end of the 2020, starting from 2014, when it was first introduced in the global market. Up till 2019, I can say that by the end of the 2000 October, there were no certain guidelines by the DGCA of India. But surprisingly, by the end of in the end of the November 2019, DGCA approved or made certain guidelines that to categorize the drones into mini, nano, micro, weight-wise. Wherein, if you are using any toy drone, you don't need any kind of permission, any kind of registration. You can fly it on. However, you need to enroll it, but you don't need any kind of permission up to the weight of 250 gram. So if we just talk about the nano drones, we can categorize. If we are into manufacturing, we can look for a potential hobbyist who would be able to buy drones just to fulfill their hobby, and giving an opportunity to generate revenue just by selling drones, toy drones, we can say. If we are not talking about the commercial utilization. In India, a drone was first utilized when during Kargil war, when our enemies were sitting at the top of the mountain. We were not able to see them, and it was imported from other countries because at that time our country or the DRDO was not completely dealing to the drone system. This was the first drone which was imported from the Heron, which was imported from Israel. So we are not going to talk about these drones which are being used in military operations. My prime focus is the utilization of drone in commercial sector, not in Indian defense, because I'm personally talking about. If I talk about myself, I'm not in a position to deal with Indian Army and their parameters, their guidelines, because that is a big deal for me. The latest drone which is being used by DRDO is Lakshya, a well-known name, and Netra. And most of the Indian drones are quite impressed by the models of Netra. So whenever you are watching on any television or during COVID-19, you might be watching most of the models are similar to that of Netra drone, which is developed by DRDO. I'm talking about this one. This is basically a quadcopter. Yeah, Joe.
Ajay, this is Suman here. I just have two questions, so
Yes,
I'll
sure.
ask you one at a time. So India being one of the most populous country in the world, so there is also a lot of focus on hyper local delivery. So basically, the delivery coming from Kirana stores to your home. So that's one major partnership from Reliance and Facebook, which will see a lot of opportunities out of GeoMart, right? So while this hyper local delivery happens, right? So let's say Kirana store is delivering within say 2 to 3 kilometer radius, right? So can commercial drone vehicles used for this purpose? And also, how do you see there's an opportunity over here for delivery of say goods and supplies from a Kirana store to home delivery?
Sorry, voice was bit tracking. If you can,
Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. So my question is, what do you see the opportunity of drone delivery for hyper-local delivery, say from Kirana stores to your doorstep?
you're right. It is very much possible to deliver the goods and services, goods especially from Kirana stores to residential areas. If we are talking about the complexes where we are living in, kind of builder flats or builder societies, which is very much easy for us because we have we can easily work out that how much distance it is, how much. Uh, any kirana store or general store is located at what distance from any society. We can easily find out the coordinate of each and every resident, where they are willing to get these things delivered. And we do have certain software as of now. We can take your drone directly from the kirana stores or the shopping complexes right straight away to the person who is sharing his coordinate. Just for an example, I would like to show you one thing. Just be with me. Can I show my desktop screen?
No.
No. Oh, so that's
No
the
problem,
problem.
Ajay. That's fine. I'll get in touch with you
That's the
later
problem.
time.
So just I would like to tell you that recently, while I started working on, especially I'm working on, with DJI. So if I talk about the DJI, recently I got a license of the DJI Terra, which is one of the most prominent software for surveying and mapping, industrial mapping or ground mapping by DJI. So what this software is specialized in, if you are not willing to go outside your home, if you are just operating a drone right straight from your balcony, you can already map or mission a plan. You can create a plan or you can create a mission for your drone, that at what altitude your drone should hover, at what position should it rotate its angle to a certain in a certain direction, at what angle it should take left, at right, at what altitude it should fly. You can already pre-plan everything. It will fly according to what you have made. It will not deviate from its path, despite of it has certain limitation of resisting the wind, maybe 45 kilometer per hour to 70 kilometer per hour for the wind resistance. So if it is flying in that condition, it will follow strictly the path you have designed for the drone. If I talk about the coordinate landing, if you are able to manage your customers that they can share the exact coordinate where they are located, the drone will be landing exactly to that coordinate. If it is capable of carrying any kind of stuff, you can manually drop those products straight from the place where you are operating from. It may be depending upon the range of the drones. The current drone, if I talk about DJI Mavic Pro 2, which is having a range of 8 kilometers with clear transmission, video transmission. And if I talk about the horizontal transmitted, maybe near about 15 kilometer of range. But I'm not be willing to send my drones because that would be out of my sight for such a large distance. So just I talked about a distance of 2.5 kilometers because that is where we are getting the strong signal and we cannot lose my drone. Now, while talking about these drones, one more point to strike me was, sorry, I forgot that. Maybe if I remember, I will tell you once again. So, yep.
Can I ask you my next question, Ajay? Thank you for answering that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since your work right now involves in air traffic management of the drone surveillance,
Right.
so let's say most of these drones will be flying in air, right? So there are two things that comes to my mind. One is the charging of these drones because these are operated through electronic charging, right? So electrical charging, right? So how do you actually make sure that the battery is completely on for your deliveries? Do you have a mechanism to check part of your air traffic system? One, and the second question is, uh, let's say the climate is not supporting flying, so you don't know that when you start the operations. So while the drone is in air, supposing let's say there's a strong wind or there's a rain, so how do you ensure that you control drones? These are exception cases, but again, I think this will be part of the operation because in India we cannot all the time predict the climatic conditions, right?
Yeah. A very good question by you for about the drone of in operating in adverse climatic conditions. Right. So similarly, what we do when there is adverse climatic conditions and we need to operate in either helicopters or aeroplanes. Either we try to avoid our helicopter flights, especially helicopters. So drones comes under copter, I would say, because it is either quadcopter, hexacopter, octocopter, but it is kind of copter wherein we would definitely, if we are not equipped or if we have not tested our drone in such adverse climatic condition, we would not be able to carry out operations.
Okay, basically you're saying that testing has to be done in adverse climatic condition to sustain those situations, right?
Unless or until that's what we are talking about here, because there are lots of things wherein we are still need to work, where we are still need to develop a certain technology or certain kind of models of the drones, which would be the future of the drones to deal in even if there is an adverse climatic conditions. But as of now, what drones we have in our we have with us, those are not capable in operating in such adverse climatic conditions. But it would be possible, I believe, in future. According to the last seminar that I was we with in DJI, and they have started working on. If you are talking about the air traffic management system. So a question was in my mind that what if any drone is flying in the sky in the same time, any other drone comes from the opposite direction, because if we talk about the aircraft, there are skilled workforce deployed at the air traffic control system where they are able to transmit and control to avoid collision. But what in case of drones? So the latest drone by DJI is the it is Mavic Air 2, which is capable of avoiding air collision between any other drone because it senses the drone in the sky nearby, and it maintains a safe distance from each other. So we are continuously working on enhancing the technology. If we talk about the battery backup, that is one of the most important questions, because if we are flying at a certain distance and if we lose the energy, definitely our drone will fail down. So if we talk about the drones which are already in India, the very first thing is that they are very heavy. If we are increasing the weight, definitely we are consuming more energy, and we are also decreasing the range. Why I'm always talking about the DJI, because it is one of the drone company which is continuously working on enhancing its technology. And if we talk about the DJI, this is the battery of the DJI Mavic Air. This is Mavic Mini, which has a set of 3 batteries. which can be charged simultaneously. One battery has a capacity which is, I have already tested, is the 30 minutes. So 30 minutes of flight is not less if we talk about in the current scenario, wherein we are just working at, I would say that initial levels of in the drone technology in India. It can be increased to 1 hour, 1.5 hours. As of now, there is only capacity of carrying one battery. However, we can make such a drone wherein there can be 3 batteries at a time, and it may auto switch the energy from one battery to another battery if any battery is running low in power. So if we are capable of doing or capable of making such a technology, definitely at one go we can have an 1 hour and 30 minutes of flight time. And if we talk about what if in current scenario we are running low on battery backup, we have the features that our drone, when senses, we can set a limit that if a battery is 10% or 20%, it will start popping you a message that you are running low in energy, you need to call your drone. And if you don't give any kind of command, automatically it will reach to you, which is your home point, which avoids any kind of accidents.
Thank you, Ajay, for answering my question.
Yeah, there was a question from Vivek Ranjan, how about the collision of the birds? I hope that I was able to answer that, because if we talk about the Mavic Air 2, which is able of sensing the nearby aircraft, it has ultrasound system, which can even sense any object nearby in the sky. It is on us who are developing the technology to equip a drone with a certain or n number of sensors which can sense any object all around it. Earlier, which were the drone which were coming, which were having no obstacle avoidance, because if suppose you are flying a drone and you are taking a drone in right in front of a building, there is no obstacle avoidance or object sensing feature, then definitely it going to definitely it is going to collide with the object whichever is coming in front of it. But as of now, we are having obstacle avoidance sensing system which avoids the obstacle and it takes its path automatically.
Considering we have so many mobile towers, right, in a country, so remote sensing plays a very important role in order to, save the equipment, right? Otherwise, it will be a really disaster. And I'm sure that looking at current development in manufacturing batteries, especially for electrical vehicles, right? So our capabilities, manufacturing capabilities are getting built in-house in India itself. So I'm sure that for EV, for drones also we can use battery which is being made in India.
Definitely, definitely. If any new technology is introduced, definitely it gives a boost to several other interlinked things. If a company starts working especially on batteries, it has a high potential of making certain batteries for either automobiles or for drones, which would be especially specialized in developing battery with in less weight and more potential of providing energy. If we just talk about one of the things, which is the propeller, if I just talk about these propellers has a cost of 500 to 5,000 depending upon the model of the drones which are using. So even every component of the drone is money making opportunity for the person who is entering into this industry. Think of the year in 2014, which when it was introduced, it was nobody would have thought that it could have been used in sanitization or ground mapping or surveying or counter defense in near border or in attacking the remote areas where we cannot see the enemy. But it is possible now. We don't need to uh, go into the valley where any terrorist is hiding. We can send our drones to attack there because it is equipped with the GPS system. If we talk about the GPS system, even such drones are equipped with the GPS system. global positioning system. You can locate your drone wherever it is during the flight time. Even if it crashes, you can find your drone that where it is located. So with the pass, as the time passes, we are definitely going to develop a lot of things. Now we were talking about the air traffic management system. I was once talking about the Vivek and Ashish that what we can do or how I'm thinking about to develop a prototype. Suppose that there is one of the biggest hub or biggest residential area in our locality is Gaur City. If we manage to develop a hub there at Gaur City, wherein we would be having several drones and several people who would be responsible for taking to operations, and there would be certain signal boosters installed nearby in other apartments, so that a drone can never deviate or never get out of our range. Any person who is trained and professional drone pilot, a remote pilot who is flying a drone, he would be operating it from the Gaur city. He would be able to take its drone to any in any residential society which is located in Greater Noida West. He would be able to drop any stuff at a particular coordinate which is from where any customer has ordered. As of now, drone is not having facial recognition system, but quite a few hours back, even we don't had a facial recognition system in our mobiles. We don't had facial recognition system in our laptops, but today we have. So even if you are sending or even a person who is sitting in a ground, who's sitting in a park and is ordering a pizza, how you would be able to deliver that product to a particular person? At that point of time, we can use a facial recognition system. That's what I believe. We can embed that facial recognition system. If he is ordering, if he is sending that this is me, you can fit that photograph in your technology, and then drone can easily identify that person through its camera, because there's a 4K or 8K camera which are being used in drone technology today, and you can straight away deliver the product right to the person who is placing the order. That's what I believe the future of the drone is. So if we talk about the employment opportunities, there are several employment opportunities. The very first thing is that as of now, if we don't talk about the delivery of the goods or the delivery of the groceries, even if you are operating into the land surveying, if you are operating into the industrial surveying or the land mapping, at there also you need a license to operate a drone. So who would be imparting your license? Definitely a drone remote pilot training agency or training institutes. Without those license, nobody would be able to fly a drone. If he or she is flying, that is illegal. So there comes an employment opportunity. So if you're thinking about setting up of such an institute, that is going to provide that is a kind of revenue generation module for you, and those who would be getting trained from your institute would be seeking or would be getting employment opportunities. In current scenario, where we are not able to deliver goods or groceries or medicines or anything.
So Ajay, my question to you: there are a lot of people from IT companies. They are into manufacturing, also software, hardware, both. I think Ajay is also there. So, what is the opportunity for them in a drone, like for IT companies? I mean, both software and hardware side, both.
So, if first I would be talking about this hardware. A couple of days back, I had word with perhaps Puneet ji, one of the resident of the Gaur city, who was working on perhaps a small prototype. Right, Suhaji, am I right?
Right.
So before I had word with one of the best company of the China who is working on the PCBs, the PCB Plus. If you have heard about the name of the company, PCB Plus, who is one of the pioneer company in making PCBs, even a 14 layer, or I don't have any much idea about the hardware, but what I know is that. So before talking to PCB Plus, I had word with Puneet ji to have certain idea that what a PCB is, how many layers is required, what should be the ideal thickness to avoid the heating effect. If it is, if we are flying, if we are making a prototype drone and taking it into the air for a certain period of time, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour in the air, because it may be hitting effect on the circuit. So definitely, if any entrepreneur, any company in India is capable of making such PCBs, which can be in lightweight, which can be high quality, which can be heat resistance, uh, definitely there is a lot of scope. Because currently we are bound to import it from China. We are compelled to order it from China or any other country. We are not getting it in India. So there is lots of scope. If we are capable of getting in India, why would we ordering in any other country? Now, when it comes to software, there is lots of scope in software too. Either in developing the ground station, either in aircraft management system, as we have the CRM in several fields, we do use CRMs. So drone is completely new thing. There is lots of opportunity to discover and to research and to create certain applications. Perhaps Ajay ji is dealing into PCBs, right?
We are basically dealing with all kind of hardware activity, which can be used in the drone kind of means a system where we can make the structure also, where we can help to make the PCB. Even we can make to help the transmitter and receiver side also, which is used to control the drone. And further, we are also exploring the possibility of seeing the possibility for this motor, because motor is also one of the important part, which you are calling.
One of the important part, and the thing is that we are using a special kind of motor in drones, which is called the term is brushless. The brushless motor, which is we are using in drones, not the normal one.
Right.
So there is a lots of scope, because if recently I ordered four motors just for my prototype, and each motor was costing me 25,000 to carry.
For making what is the weight of the, I mean, estimated weight of the
Estimated weight of the drone is near about 10 kg, 10 to 12 kg, and it would be the maybe 15 kg, because 5 kg is of drone, and perhaps it has the capacity of carrying 10 kg weight.
Right.
So if we talk about the technology, definitely there are lots of scope. Just I would like to mention one of the thing is, if if we talk about the software part, there would be certain things: weight sensing, wind speed sensing, humidity sensing. There are several kind of things which will come under the software part, which we're working on based on the IoT. Even we can use our gesture to control the drones. We don't even would be needing the remote always to control the drones. If the drone is in our side, we can use our gesture to control the drones. Wherein comes in picture the IoT. So there is lots of scope.
Ajay, when it will become a mass product? Because if I take see in my industry, real estate, we try to shoot properties through drone, but we didn't get a permission. है ना? So when you are expecting, because अभी post COVID lot of activities will happen. I'm in touch with UP government. They are doing lot of sanitization through this drone and all that. But challenges बहुत ज़्यादा है. But challenges क्योंकि देखो कोई भी market evolve नहीं करेगा जब तक उसकी mass production नहीं होगा और mass approval नहीं होगा. तो वो एक सबसे बड़ा challenge है employment वो या business build करना.
Yeah, Vivek, the thing is that if we talk about the mass operations, definitely whenever any technology comes into the whenever any new technology comes into picture, there is no certain guidelines is made once people understand the necessity and its wider use, then they start making certain guidelines. Before 2019, there was not even a guideline that you would be able to fly even a toy drone. Although people were purchasing it from Amazon and several other e-commerce websites, but that was not legal. But now it is legal that you can fly a drone which is less than in weight of weight 250 gram. If we talk about Mavic Mini, it was especially designed for Indian market. It is written that it is 249 gram here, and you would be surprised that it has a range of 4 kilometers. It can fly up to a height of 500 meters, and it has 12 megapixel of camera, which is three-way gimbal. So this is especially designed for the Indian market. But India, and there are several companies in India, they are not able to design such a drone which is in a particular weight limit and with such great range. So if any Indian company is able to manufacture such a drone which is somewhat near about in the feature of the DJI, definitely he would be getting a lot of business even by the hobbyist, because there is no need to get permissions from DGCA for flying. There is no need to get written permission from local authorities to fly. And however, it has inbuilt feature that it will not take off if you are taking it to the near any airport. Because I just for testing I took it to Lodi Garden once while cycling. I had a plan just if I would be able to suit my cycling team, but I was surprised that it denied to take off there. It is straight away prompt that it's no non-flying zone. This is the best part, that if any person, and this is where a software comes into existence, because this is where the software developer would be coding certain area, locating certain geographical area, or defining certain areas where any drone of that brand would not be able to take off unless or until it is not enabled from the client side.
Ajay ji, it might also be because of, I think, certain jamming mechanism that might be used by the government at those places.
No, that is fact. That is fact. I do agree. This is very much important, and that is why drone companies are already embedding it into its hardware. That there are certain predefined areas wherein you would not be able to fly your drone if there is not if that is not permitted from the client side or the server side, from the server side of the manufacturer.
No, I think apart from the permissions from the client and server side, government will also keep a upper hand in deciding where they can fly, they cannot, right? And because they also will be using jammers for that. Otherwise, drone can be very potentially used for assassinations or any such kind of attack, right? So
Very
it can
true.
carry such a big thing. You can carry any bomb and put onto any convoy of any of the ministers, right? So they can't let it fly like that.
Very true. Recently, I have submitted one of the project on one of the military wing who has raised a certain kind of idea or any project if anybody has developed to for counter drones or to overcome swarm drones near border area. So that is where comes the anti-drone management system or anti-drone technology. So when we talk about the positive factors of the drone, there comes the negative factors as well. And again, there comes the opportunity for the softwares and the hardware developers to make business or generate employment or generate revenues.
I think Ajay, मुझे पूरे discussion से समझ में आया. See, the both thing which you are talking is a technical thing, whether it is a hardware or software. But a person like us, which is a non-technical guy, so what is a business opportunity? What I think you need to, if you can develop a warehouse and get an approval from authority that you can fly a drone from this particular area, and you can do a tie-up with all delivery system with Amazon and with Flipkart, or whether it is a medicine delivery, apparel delivery. So that is a business opportunity which I'm which I which I am thinking. Am I right? Please correct me.
Sorry, अभी आपकी वॉइस थोड़ी बीच में ये होगी interrupt हो
नहीं, what I am saying कि अभी आपने जो business opportunity बताई है, that is for the technical guys. Technical, that is on the part of the hardware और software. But between that, मैं आपके discussion से जो समझा हूँ कि there is a very big opportunity if I can develop a warehouse जहाँ पे मैं उसका approval ले लूँ, जहाँ से मैं drone को fly कर सकूँ और डिलीवरी सिस्टम डेवलप कर सकूँ फॉर ऑल फ्लिपकार्ट, अमेजन, मेडिसिन डिलीवरी और एपरल डिलीवरी. That is a business opportunity. We can work on that. Is it possible?
It is possible unless it is possible, but until you completely develop a drone traffic management system which is approved by DGCA, before that it is not possible. Because in any country where it is operational, there is a complete and clear guideline of the government. Because if you are using the digital sky, there comes the certain guidelines of the civil aviation department wherein you need to clear certain things.
Because अभी क्या है ना, सब लोग contactless. See, people are talking post COVID-19 contactless. So contactless can be done only through drone. Otherwise, there will be 100% human touch. खाना भी आएगा तो ह्यूमन टच से ही आएगा ना.
अभी जो एक रिसेंट जो फीचर जो DJI ने अपने ड्रोन में एम्बेड किया, which was very much impressive, is it is capable of measuring your heartbeat and it is capable of measuring your temperature at a distance of 80 feet. So this was developed particularly keeping into the mind of COVID-19. Because if there is a mass level of infection where any person who would be going to for screening of those person, there is 110% of possibility of getting infection from those already infected people. So if any drone is capable of taking measuring the temperature from a certain distance, or is capable of measuring their heartbeat, or any other things which is related to medical sector, definitely that is the another scope of drone.
Okay.
So Ajay ji, just one more. Yeah, please go ahead.
Continue please.
So just adding to Vivek ji point, suppose if we have those guidelines in place in future, and then that air traffic management system is also there. So what will be the cost? Like if this will be too high for delivery things, like suppose I am ordering one pizza or ordering some grocery. So the operational cost to deliver that thing through drone, what will be that? That will be higher side or nominal? What do you think about that?
Sir, if we talk about the costing, definitely when mobile was first introduced in our country, the cost was much more for us, because the manufacturer were less, the people were much less aware about those things. So cost at initial level, the cost may be high. I can't deny from that, but then when the number of the manufacturers, the number of the companies increases, when the number of the delivery agents or delivery those agencies who would be responsible for delivery systems, those will increase, definitely the cost will decrease.
And Sachin ji and even Ajay ji, another point to add to this is, if you see the only costing which will be there for the drone deliveries would be the cost of the battery, right? Because the battery has a life, right? The number of cycles for which it can be charged. Right. This also brings in an opportunity for the people who, in the battery technology, we are lagging too much behind China, right? And the kind of battery that a drone kind of equipment needs is a high current dissipation battery, right? It doesn't need too much of voltage or too much of current, right? Because the flight time will max be 30 minutes, which will be enough. So now what is required is it has to provide that much of enough current to run all the propellers in the drone, right? So in India, we don't have a good quality lithium polymer batteries which are available as of now, which we use. So
And,
it's currently imported 100% from China as of now. So that also brings in a very good opportunity, so that people who can start a business in that kind of a battery will be doing good in future.
One more thing I would like to add, Punishji, that if we are talking about the batteries, definitely that in the recent or in the upcoming days, the electric motors is coming or will be revolutionizing our automobile industry too.
Right.
So there also comes the batteries. So definitely batteries are going to play a vital role in automobiles as well as in drone industries, which is already, because drones are already running on batteries. However, the automobile industry would be also switching from petrol chemicals to batteries.
Very true. And they are becoming more and more efficient day by day, and this technology is going to be doing wonders.
And if you have heard about Facebook venture of providing internet to remote areas a couple of years back, they were also providing it through drones which were having solar panels installed on that. So definitely solar panels and any system which can charge the battery itself into the air, that would be an added uh, feature to the drones. If for those who are working on technology, definitely that's a great opportunity to work or research on that.
True.
Okay, one more question I have. That do our insurance companies are doing insurance for drones?
Yes, there is not the private companies, but however there is a government organization who is currently providing insurance to the drones, because the DGCA says that what in case if any accident is caused due to drones. So in order to overcome such accidents or meet the expenses as in third party insurance, there is a government organization. I'm just forgetting the name. I would be making it available online after the seminar ends, wherein we are insuring our drones as well.
Just like our vehicles.
Just like as we are insuring our vehicles. So
Ajay, sorry to
these
interrupt. Please go ahead, Ajay.
so these are certain things wherein DGCA is continuously working on. So that is what makes me motivated that in near future we would be able to use our drone on wider level.
So my question to you is with regards to the application of drones in agri-tech, right? So right from sowing the seed or to, let's say, spraying the pesticides, right? Now we need to ensure that the people are trained to use this technology, right? So you're talking about remote pilot training, how easy it is to learn flying drones. Because let's say, for example, a farmer wants to fly a drone to cultivate his land, right? So how can he be trained as a remote pilot?
Thank you so much for this question. When I had decided that I would be entering into the drone technology, the very first thing that I started is the Institute of Drone Technology, which is one of the sister concern of my existing company, Casca E Private Limited. So when I started it, I at the same time the same question struck me that any farmer who is having a certain or less land, why would he be able to deploy such a drone which is already costing, if we talk about the Indian drone, which is 7,50,000 in cost. So if he or if he is willing to use any drone for pesticides or insecticide spraying on its land, definitely he would be not be able to use it. So at that point comes that there comes the rental of these drones. Those firms who are willing to provide such facilities, they would be buying the drones, they would be starting the rental of the drones. Same as in the remote area, we are providing the tractors on rent. Those all farmers are not able to buy tractors, but they are using it because they can get it on rent. Similarly, those agencies or who would be training their pilots, they can also start it renting their drones for even drone can also be used for irrigation purpose too, for those areas where water cannot reach through canals or tube wells. So it can be easily done through a rental system.
Thanks, Ajay. That answers my question.
So
Ajay, I have a question. So how much call it takes that if you are adding a parachute in a drone, a small a small drone of 500 gram or 1 kg of 1 kg weight of a drone. So what will be the cost for enabling that drone a parachute? This parachute can be used in a disaster thing, like it has happened a crash failure or something happened with wrong with the drone, that can be used to fly a safe landing for the drone.
I'm sorry, Ashish, actually your voice is clear. Can you please type your question here?
Okay. I'm giving you a question that what is the cost for adding a parachute in a drone? Let's take an example that if your drone is having a weight of 1 kg or a 500 gram, and then you are adding a parachute on the drone for the safety of a drone.
Actually, well, I got your question. Ashish, I got your question. The thing is that we for the safety of the drones, we don't need to add a parachute because we do have developed such technology that we are capable of saving our drones from any kind of accidents, which is hover at one point. If we just press one button, it will start hovering at one point. If we talk about the DJI control ground control unit, this is a ground control unit of one of the drone. So this is actually for rotating the camera. This is for photograph, and this is for the videography. So if we just press this one button, it will start hovering at one point where it is where it would have been flying. And there is also another button which is the come to home. Whenever you are taking any drone into the air, at that same point it pop-ups a feature that update your home point, which is a very good feature of the drone. Suppose you have started flying the drone from your rooftop, and when you are taking your drone into the air, just you have updated that this is my home point. So drone will automatically return back to your rooftop when it feels that that your battery is only 25% left. And if you have made the setting that it returns to home when it is 25% left, because you do have the feature that you can update it, that it should return to you or it should give an alarm. So there is already
So Ajay, so the things which you are saying that is right, but I am talking about the incident which is happened accidentally. Let's example that something there was a उस पे ड्रोन के ऊपर बिजली गिर गई या किसी ईगल ने अटैक कर दिया. इन दैट केस ड्रोन का खुद पे एनी अनफोर्सीन रीजन जो ड्रोन को तोड़ने में एक ड्रोन के लिए एक्सीडेंटेबल होगा, उस केस में ये फीचर्स वर्क नहीं करेंगे. तो इसलिए मैं सोचा क्या ड्रोन को में पैराशूट यूज होते हैं.
अभी तक ड्रोन को सेफ्टी प्रोवाइड कराने के लिए पैराशूट का यूज मैंने नहीं देखा है, सुना नहीं है. लेकिन हाँ, ड्रोन से पैकेट्स गिराने में छोटे पैराशूट्स का यूज होता है, ये देखा है मैंने. अभी रिसेंटली मेडिसिन से किसी कंट्री में मेडिसिन प्रोवाइड कराया जा रहा था, तो वहां पे स्मॉल पैराशूट्स वर बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर ड्रॉपिंग मेडिसिन्स फ्रॉम ड्रोन्स. Those parachutes were automatically opening in the air and were dropping on the ground. So yes, right. It is right that we can use it. There is no big deal.
So around costing क्या होती होगी इस तरह की पैराशूट के लिए? एनी कोई आइडिया?
No, I don't have any idea as of now.
Okay. Thanks, Ajay.
So we are running out of time, which we had decided for this. So anybody is having any kind of suggestion, any kind of question, most welcome.
Ajay, how can we get in touch with you for any further updates about drone technology?
There is we are associated with one association, which is Greater Noida West Entrepreneur Association, and I'm here as the vice president of the association. Vivek Raman is as the president, and Ashish Kushwaha is as a secretary of this association. So either you can ping on our Facebook page, which is Greater Noida West Entrepreneur Association official, or you can drop me directly mail to me, which is Ajay at Casca E Connect Private Limited. Ajay at cascaeconnect.com.
Could you please chat, leave a message on the chat, Ajay, at your convenience? I'll make a note of it.
हाँ
Your
तो
email ID?
हाँ
Yes, so
तो
I'm
chat पे कुछ क्वेश्चन भी हैं
I'm
chat पे भी
I'm
हाँ
sharing you the official Facebook page of the association, and at the
Perfect.
same time, I'm also sending you the email ID.
Email ID. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Lastly, I'll go through some chat discussion because that is important. Ajay Pathak ji, we can assist in designing ATC system for drone. We can have some experience in working with radar and ATN system. Ajay metal solution. ठीक है अजय जी आप इसको थोड़ा सा यू कैन हैव अ नंबर ऑफ अजय पाठक जी आप अपना नंबर भी डाल दीजिए बिकॉज आशीष भी मांग रहा है नंबर आशीष कुशवाहा
हाँ जी मैं अभी डाल देता हूँ
हाँ
And at the same time, I would like to invite everyone that if you think that you can put any input, because this is where I have just started working on. So if you are capable of putting any kind of addition to the technology, either in hardware or software, you're most welcome to get in touch with me, and we can work together to develop a very good system, very good technology, which can benefit our citizen, our country as well.
And there is the last question somebody asked, will solar batteries will be good idea for drones? I think we should address this last question and we should complete it, this webinar.
Sorry, Vivek, I didn't get you. Can you please repeat that once more?
Will solar batteries will be a good idea for drone?
Definitely, solar batteries will be an value-added product for the drones, because if it is flying in the air and if it is capable of providing extra energy in case our drone is running low on battery, definitely this is going to be one of the best feature that drone can ever have.
Okay, I think we should. I think everybody has raised their query and तो अभी हम लोग अपनी मीटिंग वाइंड अप करते हैं एंड देन बिकॉज ड्रोन इज अ वेरी ओपन टॉपिक ड्रोन का कोई फिक्स मॉडल नहीं है डिस्कशन का बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर डूइंग रिसर्च एंड कमिंग आउट विद प्रेजेंटेशन अगर कोई फिक्स टॉपिक होता तो वी कैन स्पीक अ लॉट एंड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इट इज मोर ऑफ रिसर्च बेस्ड है ना रिसर्च ज्यादा है तो बस ठीक है थैंक यू अजय आपने काफी इनपुट दिया है एंड होप वी गॉट लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट
Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. So I would be concluding here, and if any one of you, even after this meeting or even after some days, if you come up with certain ideas or any kind of hardware or software support that you think that you or your association or your company can work on, I'm open for you, everyone.
ठीक है थैंक
Thank
यू
you so much.
थैंक यू अजय जी थैंक यू वेरी मच
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.